Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sunniva.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Wondrous Creatures.
This is a review copy sent to us from the publisher, and today we are reviewing it. This is a game where we are adventurers on a mysterious island where we are going to find these wondrous creatures. We're gonna send our little dudes. I'm gonna call it dude. It's a
creature.
It's a creature, but it's a worker in this worker placement game. You're gonna send it out to the island to gather in resources and gather eggs, trying to get the right eggs at the right order and the right resources. And you're also gonna gather cards into your hand from a tableau of cards. You're then gonna try to play the cards at the right moment so that you get the exact things you need to race to these achievements before the other players. The game is gonna last until all of these achievements are emptied out, and when that happens, the game is gonna end, as I said, and the player who has the most points doing the things that gets you points is going to be the winner.
The gameplay loop in this game is very simple. You either place one of your creatures on the map and gather both resources or cards, or you can play cards from your hand and spend resources to play those cards. You can play up to 2 cards. Or you can take an achievement, then you will take one of these like ink pots here and put out on one of the achievements that you have achieved.
Yes.
And the last thing you can do is that you can gather or retrieve all your workers from the board. And you have got 3 workers.
Yes, and this game is all revolved around these actions, and all of them are pretty interesting in its own way. I really enjoy the worker placement. Because you are placing these workers, you have 3 of them, you are placing the workers out, and depending on where you place them, you will gather the resources that are adjacent to them. If you place on top of an egg, you will also be able to get the egg, which might give you a bonus of resources, cards, or points. And also, depending on if you place on the mountains, you will have to pay a resource, basically then converting a resource into another type of resource. I think that before we go into the rest of the gameplay, because there's a lot to say, I really have to say like a thumbs up to the components in this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really love both the artwork. I love the drawings on the cards of the creatures.
Every single creature is unique.
Yes, which is really cool. And you also see like some of the creatures are, for example, a mix of a monkey or a bird. And you can see it in the artwork, which I really appreciate. And also like we have some upgraded components, but some of the coolest components in this game is in the retail version.
And that is this special worker, because you're going to have a color, but you're also going to have a person. And if I am going to be Marie, I will take Marie and I will put her on top of this, and now she's stuck. So there is a magnet on here, and it's really nice. I've never seen this. And it's so cool, because I feel like most games would have this as like plastic miniatures.
Yeah.
This is the coolest I've seen. I really enjoyed the button in this like Euro game. And this is like so great, because you can then very easily change the characters you are in this manner, and it looks so awesome. Like when you are in this and you place it on top of there, it looks really cool, and you will be placing that. And why would you use these to place out? Is because you are gonna be unlocking some special powers.
Yes, once you have scored one of these achievements, you are unlocking the person's ability. And I thought the first time I played, I'm going to unlock this super quickly and use it many times. But in reality, it takes a little while to get these achievements. You can like some of these, you can score it already when you have 4 of these cards or tags. But you see that it scores a lot more points if you get the higher number. So in reality, you're not using that ability a lot.
No, and it was one of those like letdowns the first time, because you feel like, oh, I'm going to be this character with a really cool ability, and I might use it 2 times before the game ends. So just know that, like, they are cool. I feel like the abilities are different enough so that you will get like some differentness to your play style depending on which character you are, but it's not as big of a deal to the game that we experienced the times we played it, even though like I tried rushing to get that ability before I took in my characters the first time so I could have it. I even ended up just using it like 2 or 3 times. So it's more of that, using that to pivot into getting something, not like a way to exchange the whole game.
Yes, absolutely. And this game feels really like a race for these milestones. And it's a kind of game that in the beginning you are at maybe a little similar pace, but then somebody, because you might take in your workers or recharge, as action is called, at a like different pace depending on how many cards you're able to play, how expensive those cards are. So this is definitely a game that moves very slowly in the beginning, and then this gets taken so quickly at the end, and it's suddenly over.
And I love this kind of race and this kind of tension. And this is like the main interaction in the game. And it reminds me, of course, of games like Terraforming Mars, where you're like, okay, how close are you to that? Okay, so I can relax a bit. I know I'm like 5 ahead of you, so I can do something else instead. Or you can do like, oh, you're very close. Can I sneak that in and do that before you? That is one of my favorite parts of the game. And as I said, like that is also the end game trigger. I really then also like, because removing these is the end game trigger. And also when you get points throughout the game, because you can play different strategies. Some strategies is going to go heavy for games at the end, but some cards lets you score heavy points throughout the game as well. And if you manage to get up to 30 and 50 points and get there before the game ends, you're going to grab extra of these and they're going to be worth points as well. So I really enjoy the race to getting these is so cool. And as I said, it's one of those games where you feel like, oh, it's going very slow and it's done.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
There's many different cards in the game. When you played it a few times, the symbols are very easy to understand, but in the beginning, it's a little like information overload because you have this, what do you call it, like open market kind of. So you can see what cards are available, and there is different reasons to choose what cards do you want. You can see, oh, this is an ability that I really want to benefit from, or it's a final scoring that I want, or like this one-time use that is really powerful to me right now, or I can save it for later. But you also want to take cards to fulfill these achievements, and sometimes you can be like, oh, I'm missing, for example, one of these butterflies, and I will have 7, and no butterflies comes up for a long while. But usually the randomness, I would call it, in the card doesn't bother me that much in this game.
And also there's a way to sweep the cards to get more cards out. Yes. And also you can use the eggs. So if I like need the butterflies, I will use eggs. So if I like, well, I'm in a position where I have already 2 crabs. So if I want to go for this to get 4, for example, to unlock the ability, I only need 2 more. I could get another crab egg and I could play a card with a bird, and I have already 4 for that. So I really enjoy the balance of the eggs and the cards that you can have. It's one of those games where I don't think it will feel extremely different each time you play, but for me, it's very fun. It's one of those games where I'm just having fun. I'm not like, the turns are pretty quick, it's not that long of a game, but it's just like giving me fun feelings, trying to maximize like the resources, so that I try to play cards, or maybe cards give me a bonus resource, or maybe I do this to give me that, trying to do the best with the fewest actions. So optimization, if you know us, you know, we like trying to optimize every action, and this gives me just like pleasant fun. It's one of those games for me where I have fun from the beginning to the end. And I really like that you have the puzzle of your tableau, but adding on the tension of this, I really, really like.
Yeah, because as you said, the core concept of the game is the same every time. You are getting resources and paying them to play the cards that you want to play. You have some variety of the cards, a variety of the abilities, and a couple of small expansions that we would try to play with as well, that I think adds a little more variability to the game, but the concept, main concept, is the same every time.
Yeah, it's not that you need those expansions. One of them is like a new type of card that you can get, and the other is just like more things. So really, really like them, but it's not like you need that, because I feel like if you like base Terraforming Mars, because it's easy to
it has tags and
it has
abilities on the cards.
Yeah, so I feel like you will get the same kind of replayability, because you're doing, even though like all the cards are different, but they have some of the same abilities, but you're looking for combos, looking for trying to exploit combos, all of that. So this is kind of like going into who is this going to be for. I think it's going to be for a person who likes a tableau game.
Yeah.
Like if you enjoy
Yes.
building combos, maybe like there is a way of building some little engines. There is like different kind of cards, some that use energy that you can use for the free action. Some that will trigger when you recharge. You can maybe try to build up a big pile of that. You try to do all of these different things. I will say it's a pretty tight game.
Yeah, I will say that yes, you can just like place a worker to get resources, but you also want to do the thing that gives you points, and that is play cards. So it's not like for unforgiving game or a brutal game,
Nope.
but it's absolutely you want to see like, oh, this costs 3 and the other costs 2, and like do a little math thing in your head.
I feel like it's a medium game. I feel like the first time you're going to spend some time to just understand the cards. I really like that the cards have both the symbols and the words. It tells you what it does.
Love that.
Because that makes it easier. And the second game, you're not going to look at it probably because you remember the symbols. But the first game, it's very, very helpful. And I really like that. There's a bit of tension in the game in a good way, I think.
Yeah, but not a direct conflict. There's some like when you play the card a game a few times, I could be like, oh, I don't need that card, but I say Johannes really wants that. I'm going to draft that just to hinder you from getting it or sweep it at the right moment. But that's kind of the most interaction it is in this getting these firsts.
Yeah, I really enjoy that interaction. I think that if you don't like games that are only like looking down to their own thing, I think this is like a nice up from that. Not like very interactive, but good interactive enough. Should we do some final thoughts?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you want to begin?
I really enjoy this game. I think that I really like you see many games do this now. You place workers and you retrieve them all, but I
Yes.
think this game does it in an interesting way. I think it gives my brain a lot to think about without being like heavy melting in my brain. So every time I'm placing a creature, I'm going to be like, oh, I really want the card from this habitat, but I also really want this resource, and I have to decide every time. I have to decide, okay, do I want to recharge now? I've got all my dudes on the map, I can do that now, or do I want to snag that achievement before you do it? Like all these small decisions every time, and also the quality of the production and the artwork is a big plus for this game as well. I'm going to give this a 7.5.
I really like Wondrous Creatures. I think it's a lot of fun. It's one of those pure fun games. Like it's just enough there to think about without being like, oh, I'm losing a lot of brain power. I'm just like having fun. I'm riding on that fun wave. Like it's my brain is being happy when I play this game. It gives me that happy feeling of, oh, I'm trying to do this. Oh, you are going for that. I will try to sneak out and do this other thing. Or maybe I will try, oh, you go for 8 of that. Will I be able to sneak in and do the other one? And all of these things is just like a nice thing. Trying to rush up, getting that. The tension. I really like the tension of these. Going for them. Trying to sneak out one more of these to get some bonus points before the game ends. I just think that most of the game is fun. There is not like a single thing where I'm going to be like, this is not fun. So everything about this game is fun. I'm going to end up giving it an 8. A really great game. Should we do some keep or cull?
Yes,
because
let's
that
do it.
is a thing. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, boom.
It's the double keep.
Yes, this is just a very fun game and highly recommend it if anything on this video made it interesting for you. If not, there's other games to check out. And if you want to know more about other games, we know about the YouTube channel.
Yes, it's
It's
called
called-
Board Gaming Ramblings.
Yes.
It's here on YouTube.
Oh, it's us.
Spoiler alert, it's
Yes.
us.
You can do something to see more of us.
Yes, subscribe.
Oh, that's a new thing on YouTube, right?
No, it's been there for a while.
Yes.
You should use it.
It's also free and
Yes.
it helps us a lot. So thank you for that. Have you played a game? Let us know in the comments. This is the end. Thank you for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.